All right. Looks like we got a bit of a heavy-handed topic today, and it is one that whew, is a tougher one because I have to actually tread very lightly around this, especially because I actually recently deleted a video about this particular person, individual, and so today I'll just refer to them as extreme diabolical pounds. Shout out to Low Tier God for that one of my favorite names. He's forgiven. And around this is that there's a big question of, is YouTube defending him, or is it a little bit more than that? And let me tell you, there's actually a very simple answer, in my opinion. And the simple answer is that they just don't want any bad press around this guy, especially if people are conducting sting operations around him and getting him caught. So, legally speaking, if you don't want to be presented as such and have articles written up about you, you are going to stop it immediately. Alright. But, can you argue that YouTube has been a bit, what you would call it, heavy-handed in the punishment that they give out, making examples of people to enforce this guideline? And here's what I think. I feel like, especially since everyone on YouTube is literally just a number, including me. Actually, matter of fact, I'm definitely a number. You'll see that a lot of people will get the short end of the stick, more or less. And when that happens, people will go up and complain and all that stuff. And then, now, what really brought my attention to this is the fact that this creator known as Mink Miniclin had been terminated for covering this. And I'll just read the email or whatever that YouTube sent to him. And it says, "Hi, Miniclin. We have reviewed your content and found severe or repeated violations of our harassment policy. Because of this, we have removed your channel from YouTube. We know that this is very upsetting news, but it's our job to make sure that YouTube is a safe place for all. If we think that a channel severely violates our policies, we take it down to protect other users on the platform. If you believe that we've made the wrong call, you can appeal this decision. You'll find more information about the policy in question and how to submit an appeal below. What our policy says: content that contains targeted harassment or malicious insults such as racial slurs isn't allowed on YouTube. This includes, but is not limited to, stalking, threats, unwanted sexualization, and prolonged name-calling or malicious insults that target intrinsic attributes." Now, unfortunately, I have not watched this video because, well, it's gone. And I would hope that at least he didn't really call him names for too long, because I know YouTube's very iffy on that part. But regardless, I feel like this, especially the way that it happened, he got terminated like very fast for, well, by his words, zero reason. And yeah, so I know for my case too, I actually deleted my video on EDP. Extreme Diabolical Pounds. Jesus Christ, I gotta get used to this name calling. And because I saw people getting taken down, and it's just like, well, I don't really want to suffer the same punishment too. And it doesn't matter who it is, they will go after everybody. And I also saw some other YouTubers getting community guideline strikes and all that, so they can't upload for a week, and their monetization got hit. And you have to ask yourself, guys, too, it's like, is it really right for people to have that kind of stuff taken away, like their monetization taken away over covering something? And so I actually want to go into something before we continue this conversation. And apparently YouTube actually has a policy on this, which I know some people found out about later on, but unfortunately for some of us, we are not entirely sure about what really is, what really understands, or like what really we need to get. And so I'm just going to say, read it here, and it says, content that depicts a staged meetup that is used to accuse identifiable individual of egregious misconduct with a minor without the presence of law enforcement. So this falls under the harassment and cyberbullying policies, which is, I don't know if that's really cyberbullying, but regardless, it is in the TOS and it is a breakable offense. But the problem is that when you start dishing out punishment, it's kind of like, did you give people enough time to, like, at least remove the content, or, just kind of let them deal with it and then give out a strike, which they did not. And just for the record, Miniclid still has tried to appeal on the 5th day, and he has still, well, what's the 5 word of, like, double? Like, YouTube has literally, like, double, triple down on keeping him terminated over this. And he really didn't have a chance. Man went to bed, and then he had his channel completely gone. And this is why you kind of have to realize, too, that YouTube is never permanent. You can't make this permanent. This is something that's going to always be, temporary. Like a lot of things in life. Lots of stuff will always be temporary. But in this case, at least give the man a fair chance. Ay, ay. But I'm sure he'll keep fighting for his channel, and hopefully he gets that resolved soon. Now I want to go into the whole, like, sting operation and vigilantes, because I'll be straight up with you, I really, really don't like civilian vigilantes. Now, according to Gideon, who did the original sting operation on Mr. Diabolical, they had police involvement and all that, but it wasn't shown in the video, so that's why I even remember even his got taken down later. Though this was after everybody else got hit, but that was the reason. And my reason why I really don't like them is because they end up botching cases really badly. Even the most infamous one, like Chris Hansen, even though some of his stings were really bad, some of them got away too. And another aspect about this is that the reason why you'll always get support is that, of course, what these people do is very egregious and very disgusting. They're disgusting individuals. So that, plus the emotional charge that people get seeing them wanting to be locked up or being punished, vigilantes will always get sided with that. And while I do want these people locked up, it has to be done in a way that's, beneficial for everybody. Because just confronting somebody and interrogating them for an hour, sure, that exposes them, but they could still go on and work a normal life. They're not registered as, like, an SO, and they're, like, on a list. They are literally on, can carry on. Sure, you can have the internet do what they did to Mr. Diabolical, where it was like, well, we can email your job and get him removed and just take away every other source of income, but either way, this person's a free man. They can walk around and collect as many colorful baskets of Walmart as they can. Which is really counterproductive. And you have to remember too that this actually hurts the real victims in the end when you play vigilante and you don't know what you are doing, because you make him free to hurt other people again, as that's exactly what he did. Well, allegedly that's what he did. Sorry. You gotta be very careful. But so I can actually understand why YouTube would be like, well, we want law enforcement in here, so, well, legally speaking, they need it, but also just so that you're not pushing out anything, like, not false, but you're just not pushing out this kind of content to people, despite how much views and money or whatever you're going to get, or how much support you have. Stuff must be done properly. So, I'm actually going to take the less popular opinion. I'm actually going to say that they're not really protecting Mr. Diabolical. They're more protecting themselves. It's not like pick a side YouTube or whatever. This is more like, we don't want this kind of content to give us any form of bad press, so we are going to make examples of people. And it's unfortunate that Miniclin was one of those victims of that. And of course, other people who also got striked and got their income hit pretty hard. So that's really why, that's where I kind of draw the line. But this is a big company, and it's not like one person getting terminated is going to change much. So I highly hope that he gets his stuff going again, and he gets that appeal, because that's not fair, and we really should at least try to attempt some pushback against people getting made an example of like this. And the final aspect about YouTube's community guidelines is that while this one in particular is actually pretty clear, a lot of the times whenever stuff gets enacted, especially if you do not have a YouTube rep, the guidelines are so vague, so people don't even know what lines to tread. And of course, a company really has no reason to give you a clear, defined line of what's good or what's bad, because, like I said at the beginning, we are just numbers to them, and there's not much we can do. Doesn't matter how much money we give, if it looks bad for them, they will cut stuff out. And of course, you can't have, like, say you have 2 billion people, or 2 billion content creators, you're not going to have 2 billion people who are going to manage each and every one of them. You're going to have the special few who get whatever perks, I guess, or something of those caliber, or you'll just have like bots maintaining everybody else. And it's unfortunate because bots are not perfect by any means whatsoever, but it does cut down on labor. But what ends up happening is, because guidelines are so vague, you have people who go back, remove stuff from old videos, check out if old videos could violate the guidelines, and you're just making mass panic and no communication whatsoever. And in the end, sometimes people who could be like uploading for like 5 years could get struck for something that they made 4 years ago. And when at the time the guidelines have changed, because the guidelines 4 years ago are not going to be the ones that are the same today. So treading that line is very different. But I think I've always said, to answer the previous question, no, I don't believe they're protecting him in that sense. But the way they've gone about it is less than tasteful. But what can you do about it? The best you can do is, I guess, read up on vague community guidelines and complain to Twitter, and maybe they'll come around, but they really don't. They're not the most useful in terms of that aspect. So, if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow my socials down in the description below. I cannot speak English, Jesus Christ. With that being said, next video I'm actually going to talk about State of Play, because I saw some trailers that were really nice, so I'm just going to move on from this topic and hopefully never have to talk about this fat diabolical loser again. So, have a nice one. Peace.